La ganadería en la República de Panamá.
Livestock in the Republic of Panama is an economic activity that occupies an area of 1,384,455 hectares, with a herd of 1,533,456 head of cattle.
Aproximadamente.
Approximately 1.1 animals per hectare, also involving small and medium-sized farmers.
La genética de los animales.
The genetics of the animals responds to the predominant type of livestock.
La ganadería de cría.
That is, breeding stock. Some data indicate that 50% of the total herd is of the Zebu breed for meat production.
El 41%.
41% are crossbred animals for double purpose.
Tan solo el 9%.
Only 9% is specialized cattle.
5%.
5% for milk production and the remaining 4% of breeds for meat production.
En su mayoría.
Mostly European breeds. Don Pedro Vallarino is a person who is passionate about livestock.
Lleva produciendo.
He is producing for more than 65 years, the best genetics of the Brahman breed in this country, maintaining high standards and leaving a mark in the region.
En la región. Con él.
We will talk with him on today's program.
La actualidad de la raza.
About the current situation of the breed, the management of his livestock and the positive results, obtained through the evaluation of the reproductive parameters of their animals.
Bienvenidos.
Welcome.
De niño.
As a child, the one who drove my grandfather's car to come to the farm was me.
Cuando mi papá quería venir a la finca,
Later when my father wanted to come to the farm,
él me llamaba
then he would call me and tell me come with me and I would come with him.
y entonces
There is a relationship,
hay una relación,
there is a connection with the countryside, with the land, with the cattle.
Mi nombre es Pedro
My name is Pedro Manuel Vallarino Cox.
Cox. Yo soy
I am the owner of Hacienda Tanara.
Hacienda Tanara, conjuntamente con mis hermanos.
Together with my brothers, we are 6 brothers.
5 de ellos no les gusta la ganadería.
5 of them do not like livestock. They do other things and I am the one here.
Yo saqué una maestría
I got a master's degree in bovine reproduction at
en la Universidad de Texas,
Texas A&M Kingsville, Texas.
Texas. Tengo 72 años.
I am 72 years old and this is my passion.
Hacienda Tanara,
Hacienda Tanara has its beginnings in the time of my great-grandfather.
mi bisabuelo,
Manuel Espinosa Batista.
era de origen colombiano.
He was of Colombian origin. When Panama separated from Colombia, he stayed
Y se convierte en uno de los...
here in Panama and became one of the heroes of the independence of Panama from Colombia,
Y así él inicia poco a poco.
and thus he began little by little, acquiring land from the Duque family and he acquired the land here in the Chepo area,
En el área de Chepo. Posteriormente,
later on from my father, Mr. Joaquin Vallarino,
usando
using the 2 names of these 2 properties,
propiedades, Naranjal y Tapagra,
Naranjal and Tapagra,
y crea en el año de 1962,
unites them and creates in the year 1962, the company Tanara S.A.
él inicia comprando
He begins buying Zebu genetics from here in Panama, from different farms that were already inbred in the breeding of Zebu cattle,
Cebú
and begins to form the registration herd of the farm. Originally this farm was a Creole cattle farm,
de ganado criollo. Y poco a poco
little by little through the years and the crosses and the selection.
se hace lo que es el hato.
What is done is which is the farm's registered herd. So from the 1960s to the present, we have been producing registered cattle for more than 60 years.
Produciendo ganado de registro. Hoy estamos
Today we are removing the implants.
a las vacas que vamos a
from the cows that we are going to start to inseminate.
Hace 10 días,
10 days ago,
ella se le pusieron implantes.
she got implants to synchronize them.
Hoy se los van a retirar.
Today they are going to be removed, and in more or less 2 or 3 days,
Se deben comenzar a poner en celo.
they should start to be put into heat and to be able to inseminate them. So here there are animals of different ages.
Tenemos novillas.
We have 2-year-old heifers, which is when we started to get them pregnant.
En promedio,
On average, these heifers are around 1,000 pounds.
ya son vacas.
They are already 3-year.
Hay vacas aquí.
Old cows, there are cows here are old, which are cows that are about 8 years old, but they are all cows that give good children. Our concept is that the year has 365 days.
Días. La vaca,
The cow in the gestation period eats approximately 280 and I have approximately 80 days left
aproximadamente 80 días.
to get them pregnant again and for the cow to calve every year.
Con el porcentaje de preñez del 80%,
With a pregnancy rate of 80% or more, I have enough replacements to eliminate everything that does not get pregnant. And in this way, implement the concept that we have that says,
genética.
genetics that add up.
Esto es como cuando uno hace
This is like when one makes a soup here in Panama, a sancocho. The ingredients that we use are cattle, the quality of cattle, cows that give birth every year,
que son fértiles.
that are fertile and that produce good quality calves.
Ahora estamos aquí en
Now we are here at Hacienda Tanara. There is a heifer and those cows are 3 or 4 months old and we have prepared them to do a single artificial insemination. We grouped them all together to do a single insemination. We are doing it here at this time, because it was the best time to impregnate these cattle, because the man has enough low here, so right now they dry up and if it comes up.
Es muy importante
It is very important to carry out this work and as long as preparing the animals well, to have better success in the insemination. Here the difference that we are going to use about 5 or 6 different bulls, that are in the tank, and none of them are going to fight there in calving ease for heifers or cows. Semen already arrives here from all over Brazil, from all over the world. You can to improve, little by little. He invited all the farmers here in Panama and Central America to improve their genetics.
hay bastante facilidades para conseguir semen.
It is quite easy to get semen from all over the world and put the best one to improve.
Este es un toro,
This is a bull that turns 3 in April.
cumple 3 años. Son toros que yo compré,
They are bulls that I bought from farms.
muy buenos. Este
They are the sons of a 380 bull. Karoo bull comes down the line.
toro carú. El papá
Their father is the number 1 bull of the breed.
La importancia de
The importance of the reproductive evaluation allows you to obtain results of the frank ovulation of the cows or heifers,
para que sean introducidas en el
so that they are introduced in the biotechnology program, identifying when the animal is suitable or not for its mating period.
A través de los años,
Through the years, we have come to the conclusion
que el ganado se debe manejar
that cattle must be managed according to the accounting part.
a la parte contable. ¿Cuál es la parte contable?
What is the accounting part? The accounting part that we have 12 months in the year,
Y tenemos que lograr que las vacas
and we have to make the cows work according to that mathematical premise.
matemática. Si el periodo de gestación
If the gestation period of the cows takes 9 months and 10 days,
nos dejan aproximadamente
they leave us approximately 80 days, 2 months and 20 days, to get the cows pregnant again.
con ese
With that selection process,
es que manejamos la finca.
is that we manage the farm. We have 3 months of mating, with a goal of trying to reach 60 days of mating.
Monta
For the cow to sow that they have more or less 20 days off, that they recover their organs,
órganos, haga una evolución.
make an evolution, to get them pregnant again.
Hemos estado en esto ya
We have been in this for more than 20 years in this selection process.
Hemos llegado a una producción.
We have reached a production above 80%.
Hemos
We have participated in fairs. We have exported bulls to the United States.
Creo que somos una de las
I think we are one of the few farms in Panama that have exported stallions to the United States.
y la meta es poder
The goal is to be able to produce calves that we wean at 600 pounds,
más o menos
more or less 200 and peak kilos,
y poder destetarlos
and be able to wean them even, all uniform, with that type of development.
seleccionar
Select heifers that we can develop and impregnate all at 2 years old,
2 años arriba de las 1000 libras
over 1,000 pounds, and be able to select those characteristics that for us here on the farm,
aquí en la finca con estas condiciones
with these conditions, all on pasture, allow us to take out, as a goal, 1 calf per cow.
Mi nombre es
My name is Irisnal Sucre Serrano.
y mi ocupación es médico veterinario.
My occupation is a veterinarian. Hacienda Tanara is a reflection, a farm that is a reflection, for this extensive cattle development that exists in the Alto Bayano region in the province of Darien, that is, here, this technology generated and validated by them. For a long time they had many things
Tenían muchas cosas que podíamos extender
that we could extend it to those small farmers and also thus be able to have that market for their stallions.
para sus sementales. La importancia de estos trabajos
The importance of these jobs, which are being activated and generated, here, as in the case of Hacienda Tanara,
que tiene un gran potencial.
which has great potential, because it has heritage, that its experience in genetic management and the results of that genetic management, which it has had not only in Panama, but internationally, because they send animals to the United States,
Estados Unidos, que podrían también enviarlos a Colombia,
which could also send it to Colombia, send it to Venezuela, send it to Ecuador, send it to any country in South America, because we do not have foot and mouth disease, so, that is an advantage to what these animals would have, the product of the Tanara farm, with 65 years of experience, in the registration and management of high-level genetics.
genética de alto nivel.
As I was saying, there are heifers that are the replacements and cows already made, that we are adding to the herd, but we are inseminating them with the best bulls that we can get, and it is the concept that I was saying, genetics that add up.
y es el concepto que decía genética que suma. ¿Por qué?
Why? Because we include bulls that, according to the behavioral data, the data of what is expected, that the children will give us,
Son
are high milk production, birth weight, weaning weight, weight per year, and all these characteristics, milk production,
para tener
to have calves that are weaned with high weights, the testicular mass. Now we are going to see the bulls that we are using, the sizes of the testicles, very important, and animals that develop, but that are sons of cows that are very fertile, because
la característica.
the number one characteristic is having a calf.
Estas vacas
These cows, animals here in the herd,
que dan terneros
that give calves that are weaned over 600 pounds,
libras. Y por eso
that's why when they reach 2 years, we can use the bulls for mating and we can impregnate the females.
aquí tú ves
So, here you see you are younger,
que son animales de 2 años, pero
they are 2-year-old animals, but, as I said, they weigh on average over 1,000 pounds. All this is possible because of the quality of people. Mr. Anil, now we are going to meet him. Sir is the third generation to work on the farm.
el abuelo de él
His grandfather worked with my great-grandfather.
trabajaba con mi papá.
He worked with my father, the man died here on the farm. Anil's father, he worked here on the farm, with my grandfather, with my father and me.
Y conmigo. Y ahora Anel,
And now Anil, the third generation, Anil is turning 60, and that is the success of this.
de esto.
Los niveles de
The levels that we have measured here, with their results, from their record, for a long time,
que los animales
that the animals here have a daily conversion of weight
de peso en el periodo
in the period that they are suckling
que están mamando de hasta 2
of up to 2 kilos per day.
por día. Eso
That is very valuable, because that genealogical or internal characteristic,
la genotípica
the genotypic one that we see at the fair, but the genealogical one is the one that goes in the DNA, which is transmitted here, and that it goes to the animals, which we are going to ride the stallions that come out of here.
Ok, tenemos que
We have to get into what the farm is. I told him that this farm started with my great-grandfather.
o sea, esta finca
That is, this farm is originally 100 years old, from being registered cattle, which my father started in the 60s,
en los años 60.
or whatever this is. He is handling registered cattle. He is about 60 years old.
En ese contexto
In that context,
donde
where I can tell you the story of all my daughters,
todas mis hijas, yo le puedo contar la historia.
I can tell you the story of all my sons. Because the one who bought all these bulls, it was me.
Fui yo. Entonces,
The cows that we saw up there are cows in pastures,
pero son vacas que en potrero.
but they are cows that in pastures get pregnant like this with the conditions that we are experiencing today in Panama. People say, now in March you are putting, because that is the important thing, because these calves when they are born in December and it is already dry. If I lengthen the mount then they are born in winter.
Los terneros sufren, se pelan.
The calves suffer, they shed, they die, and that issue of short mounting. Now when we see the calves in pastures, you will see how uniform they
Yo puedo sacar terneros.
are. I can take out calves that we are going to see in the pastures, and they are sold. For example, I sold bulls from last year for $6,000. If I can get 3, 4, 5 sons from a bull like that and sell them for $4 or $5 or $6,000 in a year, I pay for it.
Entonces, esta calidad de toros,
So this quality of bulls, I can sell,
dependiendo de la calidad,
depending on the quality of $2,000, up to $7,000. The interesting thing is that all this is done in a pasture. These bulls are not here, because they are bulls that are kept in stables. They are bulls that have been collected. Why? Because the cows are calving and the hormones start to fly.
estos toros cuando huelen eso,
And these bulls, when they smell that, they go to the cows. So what happens with these bulls
y vacas,
and the cows that are up there, I'm going to ask you, are cows that cost me $10,000.
pero si yo con este sistema puedo sacarle
But if I can get 5 children in 1 year with this system, and I can sell each child in 3, for $5,000,
yo pago la vaca en un año.
I pay for the cow in a year. The farm has a tradition. The farm has a name. What I have to do is take care of that name,
Que la persona que compre un toro aquí,
so that the person who buys a bull here knows that there is a guarantee seal.
el cambio, ¿por qué
Why work with the Zebuino breed in the meat part, the same as the milk part?
de leche? Porque el cambio climático
Because climate change is here to stay, global warming
produce el estrés calórico.
produces heat stress. In the Bos Taurus breeds, even though they are crossed with Zebuinos, they have, it has been demonstrated in Colombia, in Brazil, that they will not be able to produce at levels of milk, meat, what they are producing today.
Está produciendo hoy, porque el estrés calórico
Because the only ones that resist heat stress are the Brahman, especially the Zebu, but Brahman is an animal crossed with Nelore.
a base de Nelor,
They have Nelore, it has other lines,
otras líneas, pero Brahman,
but Brahman is the ideal, even to give milk,
porque es mejor
because it is better to put a Brahman cow to produce, even if it gives 8 liters,
8 litros, pero esos son
but those are cheap 8 liters, while a Bos Taurus will give you 8 liters, but very expensive.
pero muy caros. O sea,
That is, a very high production cost. Why? Because at 10 in the morning, in our midst, where we are, the dark Bos Taurus are under the sticks.
y yo explicaba que esto,
I explained that this must be seen as if it were a hotel that has 100 rooms. Why 100 rooms? Because I have 100 cows,
y tengo que alquilar.
and I have to rent all my rooms.
Yo no puedo tener.
I cannot have empty rooms that do not produce for me.
Entonces, si yo mantengo una,
So if I maintain production above 80%,
yo puedo sacar los vientres
I can remove the bellies to replace the 20 empty ones. And over time,
vamos
we are achieving our concept,
nuestro
which says,
genética.
genetics that add up.
¿Por qué genética que suma?
Why genetics that add up? Because little by little we are selecting and we are managing to have bellies, which are separated every year.
Todos los años
A calf is weaned every year and so that we can generate income.
originalmente
Originally in my grandfather's time,
la monta
the breeding was continuous. There were bulls all the time with the cows.
posteriormente mi papá
Later my dad with the technicians he got,
consiguió, vieron que habían periodos
they saw that there were periods, there were peaks of birth,
y
and they had 2 mounts.
posteriormente
Later with the issue of management,
lo difícil que era manejar
how difficult it was to manage 2 periods of mounting, 2 weaning periods, and then unifying these young, to put a bull in 1 season,
era imposible.
was impossible,
Y así se fue entonces,
and so the conclusion was then reached, to make a period of mounting, which originally was about 4 to 5 months.
y se le fue quitando
It was taking away time for the part at the end,
un mes al año,
1 month a year, 15 days until, that we have now reached this 3 months,
a llegar a 2 meses.
with a view to reaching 2.5 months, to later reach 2 months.
No se puede hacer así a las bruces.
It cannot be done like this at face value, but to the extent that let's have S replacements, we can gradually eliminate all those cows that are late, that are not going to manage in the next period,
Para poner las novillas.
to put the heifers and conceive them earlier,
Así que
so that all this is a scheme, it is an effort,
es una meta
it is a goal,
que de ahora en adelante
that from now on it is to have the 100 rooms of the hotel full,
del hotel llenos
100% of the time.
del tiempo. ¿Cómo?
How?
Con el manejo.
With handling, what does handling mean?
Teniendo potreros más pequeños,
Having smaller pastures, rotating the cattle, minerals, here we are making mineralized blocks,
con proteína,
with proteins, with molasses,
le ponemos
we put all kinds of minerals, corn,
cosas que podamos nutrir
things that we can nourish and complement the cattle,
lo que él necesita.
what they need and what the pastures it does not give it,
Que ayuden los minerales y los suplementos.
that minerals and supplements help. So with great pleasure, we are here at your service at Hacienda Tanara,
Para
to help you learn about the experiences here in Panama.
Genética.
Genetics that add up.
Esta frase de Don Pedro,
This phrase from Don Pedro reflects how passion and constant work combine
tener
to obtain one of the best genetics in the country.